So it looks like there are some sexual allegations against Joe Biden. We need to find out what those are. We need to investigate that. We need to find out why CNN, which is a lawless, corrupt organization, doesn't care about women. Why it doesn't care about sexual allegations why it doesn't care about sexual allegations regarding Joe Biden and someone who he worked with previously. So, as it comes out, there is someone who has alleged that Joe Biden was sexually inappropriate, and we, America, need to find out what exactly happened. Was it something similar to what happened with Bill Clinton? Was it something similar to what happened with Jeffrey Epstein? We need to figure it out, because if it happened, which apparently there were 3 witnesses at the time who were told about this incident. So this woman who alleges that Joe Biden acted criminally, sexually inappropriately criminally, she told 3 people at the time that this occurred. And I don't know if it's true, but it needs to be looked into. That's a serious matter. That means, if true, that Joe Biden has not only been the patriarch of a crime family, but that he also, in addition to such, has acted sexually inappropriately in the past. And that information
Red
needs to...
light camera reported ahead.
I'm one Sir Grove, and that information needs to come out immediately. We need to find out why CNN doesn't seem to want to cover any of the story whatsoever. None of it. Why would CNN want to cover up sexually, criminally inappropriate behavior by a candidate for U.S. president? A U.S. presidential contender, a U.S. presidential candidate running for office. Imagine if you knew about Bill Clinton in advance of him being president. If you knew about his sexual deviancy and his sexually inappropriate behavior and his extramarital behavior, if you knew, and probably, I'm guessing probably sexually, criminally inappropriate behavior with minors as well, given his closeness and, friendship with Jeffrey Epstein, I'm guessing that if you knew at the time, in advance, before he was president, you would have had one of the greatest stories in the world to break to the news media. But you didn't have that information, most likely, and that's why it wasn't found out until after the fact. Point being is, now it appears that there is information which is timely, relevant, possibly credible. So we need to find out why CNN would want to cover up sexually, criminally inappropriate behavior that took place, apparently, evidently, according to this woman. Why would CNN want to sweep under the rug a sexual abuse case involving a woman who was in contact with Joe Biden? She alleges that Joe Biden acted criminally, inappropriately, sexually inappropriately, which is a crime. So why would CNN want to not cover any of that story? Well, it's because CNN doesn't care about human life, and it doesn't care about anything unless that information that it does care about furthers CNN's agenda to undermine the United States government and our Western way of life. So that being stated, we need to launch an investigation and get to the truth of the matter and figure out what exactly is happening and has happened. I mean, seriously, man, when it came to Blasey Ford and her fucking fake-ass story that a lot of us know is just completely apocryphal, there were so many inconsistencies, it didn't fucking add up, it didn't gel, it didn't jibe, the shit was just so fucking paper thin. You know, she didn't report it until like decades down the road. And then she said she had one fucking beer. And then her friends, supposedly, that were supposed to be playing along with the story, they started to come out and be like, yo, man, this shit just isn't adding up. Like, you know, and then there were people who were told to, like, defend her. And those people were, like, going real hard, but they didn't have any actual, like, verifiable, like, data. You know what I'm saying? This shit was just some clownish shit. It's obvious that she fucking made it up. And she was pressed to make it up. Whereas with this situation involving Joe Biden, there appears to be at least some veracity to it. I don't know if it's true. We need to find out if it's true. And the fact that CNN doesn't give a fuck if it's true or not, that's real serious. Like, women ought to be deeply concerned about CNN. And I'm not pandering. I'm saying, you know, like, I have women in my family. And the fact that CNN doesn't give a fuck about an allegation that Joe Biden is a sex offender. Let me type this here. Let me look this up. Joe Biden, sexual misconduct. Sexual misconduct. Joe Biden, sexual, because, you know, clearly CNN with their fake fucking journalists and their fake news, they don't want for people to know, you know, the truth about Joe Biden and his corrupt fucking family and Joe Biden's actual behavior and demeanor. Joe Biden, sexual misconduct. And I have a dot in there that isn't supposed to be there. Let me get rid of that dot there. By the way, this is C4CW, casting 495 celebrities worldwide. If you are true fans of this show, then IWE495 most certainly appreciate you. All right, it says, USA Today, 10 hours ago, quote, if Joe Biden wants due process in his sexual assault case, he should back it for others. The Washington Post, Tara Reid, Joe Biden and the limitations of journalism. Let's see. BBC News, Biden campaign denies ex-aide sexual assault allegation. Well, of course Joe Biden is going to deny it because he's running for fucking president, just like Bill Clinton ran for fucking president. Of course a sex offender is going to want to deny allegations when running for president. Let's see. USA Today, this is 4 hours ago, former Senate staffer accuses Joe Biden of sexual assault. Let's look at that article here by Alexandra Jaffe. I don't know if that's how her name is pronounced. Jaff. This person behind me might want to fucking slow down, you know, start going the speed limit and, you know, slow down a fucking little bit instead of driving so erratically. You know, I know you're happy to be out on the road in your Honda. Let's see, 1990s, the early 1990s. It says, quote, in 2 interviews with the Associated Press, Tara Reid alleged the assault occurred in the basement of a Capitol Hill office building in the spring of 1993. She filed a police report in Washington on Thursday, saying she was the victim of a sexual assault. Wow. And it appears that AP has obtained a copy. Interesting. Wow. You know, Joe Biden has a lot of fucking problems on his hands, man. He has his piece of shit son, who's a fucking drug abuser, piece of shit, fucking slush fund, you know, corruption in the Ukraine, and Joe Biden's other children have been involved in really shady, sketchy business dealings. You know, hashtag Biden crime family. Joe Biden, man, is a motherfucking piece of shit. He's a real goddamn fucking son of a bitch. And he needs to be investigated.